Okay, so good morning, students. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So good morning to all. Uh, Today is my second lecture for this particular subject of electromagnetic field theory. So in the last lecture, we have discussed about the vectors. Okay, so about vectors and scalars. Okay, so that discussion was held. Okay. Now I'm sharing my screen. Okay, so for today's class, we will continue with the electromagnetic field theory. Okay, for the next chapter of the topic of the electromagnetic field theory is the coordinate system. So, introduction to coordinate system. Now, basically, in this particular electromagnetic field theory subject, we will be studying different laws of field theory. That means electromagnetic. That means uh, the electric field and magnetic field. Okay, because electrostatics you have already studied in your school level as well as in your basic electrical also, and you have also some idea about magnetism. Okay, and you also have the idea of electromagnetism also. That means electrical power. Okay, when electrical current flows through any circuit, it creates a magnetic field. Okay, so now electromagnetic field is a very important topic in the field of electrical engineering, because everything revolves around electromagnetism. Basically, the concept of electrical machines. Okay, so this revolves around the concept of electromagnetism. Okay, so this electromagnetism also exists in different field also. That means in communication waves also. Okay, because when signals are being sent from a communication source. Okay, so the signal which is sent, that is the suppose the radio frequency, the radio waves, these are also in the form of electromagnetic waves. Okay, so these signals actually they travel in different mediums. They can travel in free space, they can travel in air, they can travel in any other you can say dielectric medium. Okay, so they have different properties when they travel in different mediums. Now we will be studying this concept of electromagnetism in the three-dimensional space. That means if you want to practically visualize the electromagnetic field, okay, or electromagnetic field in terms of say waves. So we know that the waves which travel, okay, the signals which we receive in our mobile phone or radio or TV or internet, whatever, these are comes in the form of waves. So they travel along the air. Okay, they can travel along the space also, just what I have discussed. Now these waves travel in three dimensions, because our world is three dimension, our universe is three dimension. So now to study this kind of waves in three dimensions, we have to use some coordinate systems. Okay, so coordinate systems are used for representing these three dimensions. A coordinate system is a way of uniquely specifying the location of any position in space with respect to a reference origin. That means suppose we have a point in a particular area, suppose single point. Okay, so we know that in whenever you see any location in a map, say Google map or any map, you will see the coordinates are given. Those coordinates have two means dimensions. Those are two dimension, because a map is a two dimension, 2D. That is why we have longitude and latitude, longitude. Okay, so latitude and longitude is enough to describe a position in a map. But whenever we find the position from space, okay, or if you want to say what is the position of a sun with respect to Earth and with respect to Moon, so that becomes three dimension. So in that case, we will use three different coordinates. So in that case, x, y, z, three coordinates are required. Okay, now that means these coordinate systems are nothing but they are used for locating any point, okay, or locating the position of any object in a space. To represent the points in space, we need a coordinate system. So that is why coordinate system is very important for locating any particular point. The coordinate system may be orthogonal or non-orthogonal. Okay, that means the coordinate systems can also be right-handed or left-handed. Orthogonal and non-orthogonal means since you have a little bit concept about this 3-dimension, since you have, I think you have studied in mathematics also, that generally we use Cartesian coordinate system, x, y, z plane. Okay, this I think you have some idea. You can see this is x plane, y plane and z plane. Okay, if you visualize the corner of your room, you will see that your room has some height, so that is the z axis, and it has, the floor has two axes, one is x axis, one is y axis. So the corner of your room is actually the axis of the coordinates of, you can say, Cartesian coordinate system, and those are orthogonal. What is orthogonal? Orthogonal means that when the axis, three different axes, because 3-dimension has 3 axes, so if the 3 axes are perpendicular to each other, that means they are perpendicular to each other, then they are called orthogonal. Okay, that is called orthogonal. So if they are perpendicular to each other, those are called orthogonal. Now some axes may be there which are not orthogonal, that means the axes are, 3 axes are not perpendicular to each other. Okay. Okay, so we discuss only right-handed coordinate system. Okay, then orthogonal is one in which the coordinates are mutually perpendicular to each other. Any point is defined by the intersection of the 3 mutually perpendicular surfaces. The coordinate axes are then defined by the normals to these surfaces at that point. So that means if you want to locate any point in a coordinate system, so what you do, suppose this is a point, any point in space. So we will draw perpendicular line on the 3 axes. Suppose this, I am drawing a perpendicular line over here. So I am measuring the height z. I am drawing a perpendicular line on the plane, xy plane. Okay, I am getting the reflection over here. Then I am measuring the perpendicular line from here to get what is the actual x axis, y axis, z axis. So this will have 3 points. Sorry, these 3 axes, 3 coordinates. This particular point P, suppose this is point P, will have 3 coordinates. Suppose x1, y1 and z1. Suppose those are 3, 2, 5. 3, 2, 5. That means it is x axis is having 3 units, y is having 2 units and z is having 5 units. That is why to locate any point on a particular coordinate system, we draw perpendicular lines from that particular point to the axis, different axes. In any 3-dimensional coordinate system, an arbitrary vector can be expressed in terms of a superposition of the base vector. Now basically this coordinate system, this particular electromagnetic field through this subject is basically we will discuss in terms of vectors. Okay, so because electromagnetic field, because there are many units, or you can say physical parameters, physical quantities which are in the form of vectors, which have both magnitude and direction. So these quantities has to be represented in the form of vector. So basically this electromagnetic field theory is the study of electromagnetism in 3 dimensions, as well as it is a study of vectors in 3 dimensions also, because everything we will be using, either the quantities will be vectors or the quantity can be scalar. Okay, so if it is scalar, then also we will represent that particular quantity of scalar in 3 dimensions. And if a quantity is vector, then also we will represent that quantity in 3 dimensions. Okay, so that is why the vectors, how to represent a vector in a 3-dimension coordinate system, that also we will study. So different coordinate systems are different ways to measure space. So in your syllabus, we have generally 3 coordinate systems. Number 1 is the basic one, which is the Cartesian coordinate system, also known as the rectangular coordinate system. Okay, so that we will be starting first. Then after that, there are 2 other coordinate systems also. One is called the cylindrical coordinate system. Okay, and the third is the spherical coordinate system. Okay, so cylindrical coordinate system and spherical coordinate system are quite different compared to Cartesian coordinate system, but these coordinate systems have been discovered, or you can say derived, from Cartesian coordinate system, because whenever you will study the spherical and cylindrical, you will see that the discussion is held in such a way that to understand the spherical and cylindrical coordinate system, we have to means you have to derive that with respect to the, in keeping the Cartesian as reference. That means discussion of the spherical and cylindrical coordinate system will be done keeping Cartesian as reference. So that is why Cartesian is the basic one, is the backbone. With respect to that, other two coordinate systems have been derived. Okay. So in this literature we will discuss the familiar Cartesian coordinate system, cylindrical, or also called the circular coordinate system, and the spherical coordinate systems. First of all, about the Cartesian coordinate system, or also called the rectangular coordinate system. So why rectangular? Because it is in the form of a rectangle. One second. Yes, this one. You can see this coordinate system. The figure may look like complicated, but nothing to get confused. See, it has three axes. Okay. Z axis, x axis, and y axis. First of all, concentrate on this red mark. Okay, x, y, z. Now, every three axes, I am drawing here over here also for understanding. Every three axes has has actually you can say every two axes has a plane, share a plane. This is a plane. I am calling this axis as, this one is z. Always represent this as z axis, this one as x axis, and this one as y axis. Now this particular plane, okay, this particular plane is called the xy plane. Okay, it is called the xy plane. XY plane. Okay. Now this particular plane is called the ZY plane. Okay, and this particular plane is called the XZ plane. This one. Okay, so every two axes forms a plane. Okay, now the point can lie maybe on a plane or may not lie on a plane. Okay, generally if a point line in between, okay, so that comprises of more than one plane. So that is shown over here, okay, in this figure. So I am going back to the previous slide. Okay, the most common and often preferred coordinate system is defined by the intersection of three mutually perpendicular planes. Okay, so there actually you can say that these planes are mutually perpendicular to each other. These planes are perpendicular to each other. Okay, so because the axes are perpendicular, because x axis, y axis, and z axis all are perpendicular to each other. Okay, and the planes are also perpendicular. You can see xy plane is perpendicular to yz plane or zy plane. Zy plane is perpendicular to xz plane, and xz plane is also perpendicular to xy plane. So all the three planes are also perpendicular to each other. Okay, the lines parallel to the lines of intersection between the planes define the coordinates x, y, z, where x axis lies perpendicular to the plane of constant x, y is perpendicular to the constant y, and z perpendicular to z. Now at the origin, so O is called the origin. This one is called the origin. Over here we name it as O. Okay, so origin means the point from which the axes are starting. Axes are starting. Okay, so we use this word axis. Axis means the plural form of axis. More than one axis means axis. Okay, three axes. Okay. Now see, a Cartesian point is represented in this way. That means any point on a three-dimension Cartesian coordinate system, this coordinate system. Suppose we have a point over here. This is point, suppose P. Okay, point P is over here. Okay. Now, how to locate this? The way of locating this, as I have told you, First of all, I name this as x, y and z. Okay. So the method is draw a perpendicular line to z. Okay. Now z has some measurements 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is 9. Okay. That means the point P, the height is 9. Okay. Now you draw another plane, this one, because see this particular xy plane. Okay. This particular xy, one second, this particular xy plane is over here. Okay. Now this xy plane, and we have this xz plane, and this is as the yz plane. So this point P is not located on yz plane. Okay, it is not touching yz plane. It is somewhere in between. It is in mid-air. Okay, this is in mid-air. It is floating. Now it has some x coordinate also. It has some x coordinate. So how to locate the x coordinate? It's quite simple. You draw the mirror image on this particular plane. Okay, you're just touching the plane. Suppose this is the point P dash. P dash is the mirror image of P. Okay. Now you draw the perpendicular line from P dash to x axis. Okay, and also to y axis. So you will get some measurement 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Suppose this is 7, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So obviously this point P is also 7 from here. Okay. Because it's drawing the mirror image though. So that is why it is actually represent the exact location. Okay. So this is the way to represent it. So what are the values of P then? X axis first, then y axis, then z axis. So we will write in this way: 7, because 7 units in x axis, 11 units in y axis, and 9 units in z axis. So the location of this point is 7, 11, 9 in Cartesian coordinate system. Okay. Have you understood? If you have any doubt, then you can ask. All of you have understood?
Sir, without the mirror image, we can't find the coordinate.
Without the mirror image, see, without the mirror
Yes,
image, yes, without the mirror image, we can find the z coordinate. Okay, because see, because the problem is that I am explaining you the 3 dimension in a 2-dimensional monitor screen, because the screen which you are looking at, तुम लोग जिस स्क्रीन पे देख रहे हो, ये 2 डायमेंशन है ना? तो 2 डायमेंशन में 3 डायमेंशन को समझाना और समझना थोड़ा मुश्किल है. Okay, so we cannot directly understand, because suppose you are in a room. Okay, room is a 3 dimension, and you have a particular chair where you are sitting, suppose. So you can locate the position of the chair without drawing a mirror image, because it is in some plane. Suppose you are hanging the chair. Okay, but suppose you have a ceiling fan. Okay, and you are hanging one particular object from the ceiling fan. Okay, at a height say 5 foot from the surface. Okay, so now you can locate the position of that particular object in 3-dimensional room very easily. उसके लिए तुमको mirror image की जरूरत नहीं है. You don't need a mirror image. Why? Because you are in a 3-dimensional room, and the object is also in a 3-dimensional room. So you can easily measure from the, suppose you know the ceiling of the room. Okay, so you know that this object is 5 feet above the ground. So z coordinate is 5 feet. Then you have the 2 corners of your room. Okay, so now you will measure that at what point from, suppose from a particular wall, what is the coordinate of that particular object. So you will take one axis as x axis, one axis as y axis. Okay, मान लो ऐसा है. Suppose one second. Okay. You are hanging some object from the ceiling. Okay, this is the ceiling. Okay, so and this is the floor. Suppose this is the floor of your room. Okay, and this object is say 5 feet above the floor. Okay, and this is your room. Okay, this is your room. Now you are considering this as y axis and this point as x axis. So now you know that if you draw the lines and you find that the object is suppose at a certain space of 4 feet. Okay, and this object, if you are standing over here, suppose you are standing over here. Okay, and you are looking at the object. So for that you don't have to draw the mirror image. You can directly understand that this object is somewhere over here. So this is suppose 3 feet. So you will write in this way: 3 feet, 4 feet, and 5 feet. But since if you are seeing that particular experiment in a 2D monitor screen, then you have to draw the mirror image, because if you are physically in a 3-dimensional room, then you can easily see that what is the measurement. But if you are, because see, when I am explaining this, I have to draw this mirror image also. Why? Because to understand 3 dimension, you have to draw the mirror image. Otherwise, you cannot understand 3 dimension in 2D space, 2D monitor screen. Have you got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is why for understanding, you have to draw this mirror image. Okay. So that you can locate this particular point easily. So now, okay. So since you have understood this part, so I'm carrying on. So this particular point is called AX. Why? AX means the coordinate of x. Okay, this is called AY. This is the coordinate of y, and this is called AZ. This is the coordinate of z. Okay, so these are the 3 coordinates. So that is why point P is represented like this: AX, AY, AZ, where AX is equals to 7, AY is equals to 11, and AZ is equals to 9. Okay, that is why it is represented like this. One second. Yes, it is represented like this: AX, AY, and AZ. Okay. Now, what is this? This is actually a vector. This is a vector. So that means what you will do in your actually in your syllabus or in this particular subject, we discuss 3-dimensional system for both scalar and vector. I have told you earlier that 3-dimensional coordinate system will be discussed for both scalar and vector. Now the point P, which was taken over here, it was 7, 11, 9. This was a scalar. Now suppose I have a vector which is say vector A. I am not writing A. Wait. Vector say suppose F, force. So F vector will have magnitude and direction. So how to represent vector in coordinate system? So it is represented in this way. This is Z axis, this is Y axis, This is x axis. Now vector means it is always like this. Okay, always like this. It is not a point. It is having some magnitude and directions. It is always represented by a straight line, because it was discussed in the yesterday's class that vector is represented by a straight line with some arrow. Suppose this is vector f. So if it is represented in coordinate system 3 dimension, so it is at a point 3 dimension. So it will have magnitude and direction. Now how to understand direction, because it is only having one direction? No, actually it is not having one direction. The direction of the vector is, you can say, represented in 3 dimension. You have to इसको समझना है कि वेक्टर जो है इसका कोई एक डायरेक्शन है, लेकिन 3 डायमेंशनल जो एक्सिस में जब हम इसको रिप्रेजेंट करेंगे तो हम उस डायरेक्शन को तीनों एक्सिस के रेफरेंस में रख के 3 एक्सिस का एक रिप्रेजेंटेशन अलग से करेंगे. दैट मीन्स ऑल द 3 एक्सिस x, y, z, so the vector will have some direction for all the 3 axes. Now how is it possible? See, this is x axis, so the direction of x axis is in this way, direction of y axis in this way, and direction of z axis is this way. Now these axes are also vectors, okay, because since you are representing a vector in an axis 3-dimensional coordinate system, so the coordinate system should also have some vector property. That is why these axes are also kind of a vector. So they have unit vectors also. That is why they have unit vectors. So the unit vectors of x axis is represented by ax. What is ax? Ax is a unit vector of x axis. That means, suppose you have a value given like this, say ax. That means ax means if a quantity is given ax, that means it is a unit vector, a vector which is having magnitude 1, but the direction is along x axis. Okay. Now a vector may have the direction along all the 3 axes, or it may not have the direction about all the 3 axes. It can have only in one axis also. Okay. Why? Because see, this particular f I am drawing, it is not following any particular axis. It is not along x axis, it is not along y axis, not along z axis. It is slanted. That is why it will have 3 different axes. Okay, suppose this is unit vector ay, this is unit vector az. Okay, that means the direction of y axis, okay, so that is represented by unit vector ay. So unit vector ay means it is representing the unit vector of y axis, and unit vector of z is represented by az. Okay. Okay, so now this particular force, so force will have the values like this. It will have, suppose ax, okay, then unit vector x plus ay, or I will not write ay, sorry, 1 second, fx. So fx can be anything, कुछ भी हो सकता है, ठीक है, fy ay plus fz az. Now suppose we have the values of fx, fy and fz. So that means this is the magnitude and this is the direction. This is the magnitude, this is the direction. This is the magnitude, this is the direction. So in 3 dimension, in every axis, it has a individual magnitude and an individual direction. So the resultant will be written like this. Suppose fx is somewhere over here. Suppose it is 3. So it is 3 unit vector x plus 5 unit vector y plus 7 unit vector z. Okay. Now suppose I take another vector like this, in this way, in this way. Suppose the vector is lying along x axis. एक्स एक्सिस के ऊपर एक वेक्टर है, ठीक है, तो और कोई एक्सिस तो इन्वॉल्व नहीं है, तो मान लो इस वेक्टर का नाम है w vector. So w vector will be represented like this. Suppose the magnitude is 2, 1 2 3, suppose 3, so we will write 3 unit vector x. Okay, 3 unit vector x. और अगर एक स्केलर है, मान लो सिमिलरली एक स्केलर को हमने यहाँ पर बिठा दिया, यहाँ पर एक स्केलर है पॉइंट, ये इसका नाम है v, तो ये v जो है वो कितना डिस्टेंस पे है, मान लो ये इसका डिस्टेंस है 6, तो इसको हम लिखेंगे ऐसे कि v पॉइंट इज 6, ओके। अब सिर्फ x एक्सिस पे है, y एक्सिस पे नहीं है, मतलब कि इट इज नॉट फ्लोटिंग। यहाँ पर अगर होता तो 3 एक्सिस होता, इसका तीनों एक्सिस होता है ना। अगर यहाँ पर होता, मान लो अगर कोई पॉइंट होता यहाँ पर एक पॉइंट है, इसका नाम है सपोज P1, तो इसका कोई z एक्सिस नहीं होता, इसका क्या होता, x एक्सिस होता और y एक्सिस, क्योंकि ये xy प्लेन में इसका हाइट 0 है, इसलिए z एक्सिस होगा लेकिन 0 होगा। तो मान लो ये, मैं पहले P1 को एक्सप्लेन करता हूँ, फिर मैं V में जाऊँगा। फर्स्ट फॉर P1, सपोज दिस इज हैविंग सम लेंथ ऑफ x एक्सिस इज suppose 4, okay, and y axis is 8. So P1 will be represented like this. P1 will be, this one is x axis, so this is x axis, this is y, so this one is y, so it will be 4 8 0. Why 0? Because z is 0, it is not having any height, it is directly on xy plane. So if z is 0, that means it is in xy plane, okay. Now for this example, for suppose this v, it is only on the x plane, not on x axis, not on the plane also, मतलब it is not on the plane, it is only on the x axis. So y is 0 because this is origin. So what is the measurement of y? y तो शुरू भी नहीं किया है, तो y 0 है, z भी शुरू नहीं किया है, तो z भी 0 है, so it will be 6 0 0, okay. So that means this one, this v was a scalar, this p was a scalar, but this f is a vector and w is a vector, okay. So this is the way of representing vector and this is the way of representing scalar on the coordinate system. So for a scalar, you will only consider the point and take the measurement. If it is floating on a space, that means it will have all the 3 coordinates. It is lying on an axis, that means it will only have the coordinate of that axis. And if it is lying on a plane, that means any one axis is not having, so it will be 0. Okay. And vector also, if it is in between floating on something, then it will have the unit vectors of all the 3 axes, and if it is lying on a particular axis vector, then only the unit vector of that axis will be considered. Just like यहाँ पर जो है वो unit vector ax है, क्योंकि ax के ऊपर है ये, ठीक है। Is it clear? Have you understood this part? अगर कोई डाउट है तो यू कैन आस्क इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट, बिकॉज इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट. Have you understood the representation of vector and scalar? So यहाँ पर देखो, यहाँ पर जो है ये जो है ये स्केलर है और ये जो है वेक्टर है, ठीक है. और ax, ay और az जो है वो यूनिट वेक्टर को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है. See, this figure also shows the same thing. Figure number 9. This is showing that the every axis has a unit vector ax, ay, az. Okay, and this is the representation of a point scalar. Okay, so this is suppose z axis 1 2 3, this is y axis 1 2 3, x axis 1 2 3, this is y axis 1 2 3 4. Okay, if you are having a point like this point, okay, this particular point, it is having 3 as z, okay, 2 as y, and x जो है वो पीछे है, ठीक है, so it will be minus because axis is not one directional, it is 3 dimensional, no, so that is it will have in all the 3 directions, all directions. So this is minus x, this is minus y, this is minus z, sorry, this is minus z. Okay, so I am just stopping up to this for today's lecture. If you have any question, you can ask. अगर कोई भी doubt हो, then you can ask me. Any questions? I can see students. Ayush Kumar, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So, have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any question?
No, sir.
Okay. Then Danish,
Yes, sir.
have you understood?
No, yes, sir.
Okay. Khushbu,
Yes, sir.
is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So I am also taking the attendance also. So Manish,
Yes, sir.
okay. So have you understood?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay. Okay. So Asghar,
Yes, sir.
okay. So have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Muskan,
Yes, sir.
okay. So is it okay? Any questions?
Yes. Sir. No, sir.
Okay. Praveen Singh,
Yes, sir.
okay. So I think no questions. Okay. So Rohitash,
Yes, sir.
Sujit,
Yes, sir.
Sumiran,
Yes, sir.
Yash,
Yes, sir.
and Jason Ahmed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so thank you for today's class. So I will share these notes with you in the Google Classroom, and then I will share the Google Classroom code, okay, by today. Okay. Okay, so thank you then.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.